Hello. Yes. Hi, Callum.
A few technical issues to start us off there. Um, it looks like Brian has Segugio lined up on his rack straight away, opening up against Phil Robertshaw here with a bonus.
Nice. And we've rejoined the stream just in time to see him place that down. Lovely. Nice play from Brian. I have to say I was not familiar with that one.
It's one I know, but whether I'd have spotted it under the pressure, I don't know. But yeah, it's one of those where I think I'd like to think I would have spotted it because of the fact that it just becomes a familiar set of letters when you're used to seeing that bonus set and you've revised it many times. It looks like Phil has changed. And we now are back to Brian. Interesting rack here, bit Val heavy.
Callum, just for a moment, going back to Phil, he actually did have some interesting options that Quackle liked. He had HMM, scoring 30 above the I, leaving DKNQ. That's simming best. How do you feel about playing through that rack?
I feel like that might have been a reasonable option. If you can score 30 with that rack, I would be tempted to try and play through it.
Yeah.
It looks like Brian has a guys here for 36, a high scoring play. I'm going to leave any simulations up to you, Joseph. But
yeah, sure, no problem.
Guys for 36 is a high scoring play, or you could play guys and leave the D off the end of it, perhaps better keeping a consonant back. Not sure what he's looking at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but certainly a guy's holding the D hook. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Phil's rack looks a lot better.
Yeah,
more balanced, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, purely for entertainment's sake, I'm hoping Phil can catch up because, just to remind you folks, this is now game 16 of 18 at the Winter Matchplay. We're here in Milton Keynes, England, with Brian Poe in seed, in position 2 on 11-4, playing Phil Robertshaw in 4th position on 10-5. Brian has gone ahead and played a guised with the D.
Yep.
I do prefer holding the D, but I certainly defer to Brian's superior play here. So, any thoughts on that, Callum? Why he might have tapped the D on there?
I think I'd have held the D back, but it's not an unreasonable to take the extra 4 points. I think Phil here, Oho, is looking a standout play here with making ZOEH. CASE is a wonderful lead. I don't think there's much to think about here, and it's coming down pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Just whizzing through that move. Not much more to think about. So Phil finally off to the races. Only 60 behind with the entire of the game still to go, so nothing to be concerned about yet at all. Meanwhile, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Brian has a bonus here. He has lineate on his rack. It plays in 2 spots. So he can play it as LI and IO, or he can play it as just LO on the board. I think lineate for 65 is the better play easily, both in terms of score and in terms of what it gives away.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Phil also has very promising tiles at this point. He has Acatas lined up on his rack. I would be very surprised if Phil's not going to be able to bonus with that rack once Brian plays his. Brian's going for lineate.
Nicely done. Yeah, so Phil's got a few options here. Specifically, 4 bingos. Well,
I've seen this
three
rack
individual words.
recently in my card box. It caters with a T for castrating tea carts.
Yes.
Those are possibilities.
Yeah. And the only other one available is Catarans making Sugugios.
Yeah.
But the other option's quite clearly superior.
I mean, it's what do you want to do here? I'd potentially. He might like the volatility of castrate opening the 9 timer, given the difference in score, and he's going for that.
This seems very reasonable. Yeah, for sure.
Given the game situation, he's considerable amount behind. It doesn't seem unreasonable to make that play. Brian does not have bonus options here by the looks of it.
No, he's got a lovely dumping play of Ecium, taking out the threat of that newly opened C, ploughing through a load of his vowels.
Although Amu is also a possibility.
Yes.
Making Azo, May, and Yudo. That's the highest scoring move, I think.
Yes. And just projecting forward slightly, I'm delighted again, purely from an entertainment perspective, to see that Phil is going to be back-to-back bingoing. This is the kind of fireworks we want to see on the stream.
Kate is a possibility for Phil.
Yes, fantastic. But yeah, sticking with Brian, I think take the points here with Amu.
Yeah.
Whatever he does, he's going to be leaving a preponderance of vowels.
It's a very human thing to want to take out the most dangerous spot, especially with the lead that he has. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Ecium coming down.
Yeah, it looks like he's considering Mue down the left of Castrate. I assume that's where he's wanted to place that to interfere with the C at least somewhat.
Yeah.
And all those floaters. Reasonable play?
I would say so. Yeah, looks a reasonable play. I mean, Phil should still be bonusing off of that. He's got bonuses with the S. He's got centaurs, uncrates. But this, Moo would probably take out the most dangerous spots.
Yes.
And it blocks the 9 timer. The 9 timer will inevitably be in Brian's thinking with the lead that he has. That seems the most obvious way of an opponent getting back in the game. I mean, I'll give you an example from my own recent experience. I was forced into a position playing against Brian actually at the recent national championships, where I had to play a bonus that put me 124 ahead. It opened a 9 timer, and Brian immediately came back with an 122 point play, and all of a sudden my hard work for lead was totally gone.
Right.
So when you're leading, you're always looking to. I've heard it described as you're more inclined to catastrophize when you are a long way ahead. You are looking for, how can I possibly lose this game? Having said all that, Brian has gone for Amu. He's taken the biggest scoring play there.
Yeah, I like this. Phil sitting on a completely random rack. If you're gonna neglect that C at any point and just go for score, now's the time. So yeah, I like this a lot from Brian. Back over to Phil.
Yeah, Phil's highest scoring play at this point is actually a 9, and he's got it lined up. He's got Recaution lined up on his rack to play through the IO.
Wow.
On the board. Recaution. I'm not going to use Ziziva to help me. Off the top of my head, Cointreau, Cautioner, and there is one more that I'm trying to remember.
Autocrine.
Autocrine, yeah.
And I promise I didn't look that up. It's one of the only 9 sets I actually know.
Recaution is the best play there, I would say.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate Phil finding a 9 on stream, and it's his best play, and it's his highest scoring play, and it looks like it's getting +5. Wow.
Yeah, it looks like it could be.
Very, very well done indeed. Well done, Phil. And, fantastic. So with that +5, that draws the players dead level to 11 apiece, all to play for. Callum, this is exactly what we wanted as we get towards the climax of this tournament, isn't it?
Yeah, big plays, close games. That's what we're looking for. I mean, Phil is a player who knows a lot of 9s.
Yes.
There are bonus options for Brian here to retake that lead through the S. He has 3 options there. He's got Melodist, Moldiest, and Modelist. It looks like Moldiest is lined up to play.
So, yeah, the last few moves, a relentless onslaught of scoring. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the score's dead level at 211 each after 4 moves each. So averaging over 50 a turn, and that includes change from Phil as well.
Yes,
Melodist is the play. It's the highest scoring option. So Phil has the Q. Temptation would be to get rid of that fairly quickly. Nobody likes to have the Q hanging around on their rack for too long. An option that does that would be QATS, but that will be burning an S. Rude is another suggestion. Like in terms of pure equity, Rude is perhaps the best move. 34 points. I don't know though. It's a challenging one because that Q and that W, they're both tricky tiles.
Yeah.
The thing that would be making me struggle with this is I don't necessarily want to burn that S.
Yeah, and the Q, an even less inviting prospect than usual, given that all the U's have gone. I mean, granted, both blanks are out, but that's not really your priority with the blank to be bailing yourself out of the Q. I think Cats is going to have to be the play here. Quackle's agreeing as well, based on a simulation. So just to clarify for the audience, that's Cats.
This is another change here. Phil has decided that REST is a strong enough leave, to justify putting the Q, the W, and the D back into the bag.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay, let me run a sim on that out of interest.
Yeah, it didn't occur to me that was a changing rack.
I do think, given the score he had available, he might have wanted to consider playing through this rack, despite what I said about holding the Q.
Brian has high scoring options here by the looks of it.
Yeah.
He has Helix for 52, playing onto the triple through the E of Castrate. X along the side of Melodist. Phil has a bonus lined up on his rack.
Yes, brilliant.
Helix would block that though.
Yeah, crucial move here for Brian.
Yeah, if Helix goes down here, this could be the decisive play of this game.
Yeah. the only reason Brian won't put this down is simply not looking in that spot.
Yeah. And his eyes going to be drawn to that EX play along from Melodis. I mean, when you're looking for hotspots, you're looking for where you're going to double or triple in both directions. And a move like Fix is going to look very tempting here. Like if you don't take the time to sort out all the options.
Yeah, that's very true.
Very natural play for most players here.
I've heard that a lot over the years. It's just unintuitive, really, to consider that your highest scoring and best play could be to just not hit any of those premium squares. Well, obviously he's hitting one, but directly with a power tile or a clunky tile. And I'll just say, just to remind the audience, we obviously are aware of the issues with Phil's rack cam. I do apologise for the glitching. It's coming and going, so hopefully there will be parts of the stream where that's not flashing quite as much as it is right now. But again, we are very new to this. This is our inaugural stream, and most of the other technical stuff has been working fine. So in the scheme of things, that's going to be a small fix, I'm sure. But yeah, just to let you know, we are aware. Brian taking his time on this. Phil's fate of this game really hangs in the balance. He needs Brian to miss his most winning play, which, just to remind you, is Helix through the E of Castrate.
I mean, even with a play of Fix here and Phil coming back with Perverts, it's only halving a gap of 140. He's still a strong second favourite here.
Yeah, very true.
Play Perverts, but the game is pretty much gone if he doesn't get that.
Yeah, very valid point.
Oh.
Okay.
Ryan plays Flan. That is unexpected.
I like it. Setting up a very hot K spot for whoever draws into that. I'm fascinated to sim this. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a real blow for Phil, that one.
Yeah.
So he must have been thinking he was in with a chance there if that spot didn't get blocked.
Yeah, especially with all these hot spots dotted around the board. That's got to be a real blow for Phil.
There's a possibility of nines on this board, but not with this rack. He would need an O. He would need an O or an A somewhere, and there isn't an O and an A in line with each other. He'd have to play through unconnected letters to make either over parts or over trips. So you need an I somewhere as well.
Callum, just before we move on entirely, what's your take on Flan? What do you think Brian's thinking is there?
He may be trying to block out. He may be thinking that that's the most likely spot for a bonus. I feel like Fix feels like the natural move there. I can't see a strong reason for Flan other than blocking that lane, which may have been the most likely lane, because you could, of course, that E, you can play through that E in any the E can take up any spot in the word, whereas the R at the top of the board, a bonus there is less high scoring and it's more limited what you can play through there.
Yeah, all very valid points. So we've had a few rapid moves there. Thug comes down for Brian.
Yeah, it was a tricky, clunky rack there for Brian. Yeah,
and that puts him. Yes, I agree. And that puts Brian 118 ahead. Can Phil lucratively use this pervy hook with the Y? Doesn't look like it really.
No, there's a nice 6 here by the looks of it, through unconnected tiles.
Mm.
The possibility of Cytisi, but I'm not surprised that Phil has either not seen that or not gone for it, because keeping SIRE is a really good lead. City looks a reasonable play. Difficult to keep up with the players at the moment. They're both playing quite quickly.
Yeah. A couple of really intuitive plays for them, it seems. Back to Brian. Are we finally going to see some kind of X-bomb? I don't think there are any actually now on the board.
Re-dry uses some tiles here.
Nice.
34.
Yeah, that's a really nice play, actually.
The triple where Helix would have played. And
probably his ultimate equity play is Prexy. Prexy through the E of recaution, scores well, clears up his rack, leaves well, and just as Callum was saying, Phil sees the cue for the 3rd time this game. Interestingly, both on the 2 occasions Phil has already had the cue, he's changed, and we've just been looking through the candidate options on Quackle, and there were some really interesting ones, some quite left field options that simmed well, despite holding the cue. This, I haven't looked yet, but I'm assuming we're going to see some sort of simple cue dump here, and very nice, by the way, Brian finding re-dry. Very strong move here. Gives nothing back whatsoever.
I mean, with the game situation as it is, although that's not the equity play from Brian there, scoring the highest scoring move possible is rarely a bad thing to do when you're so far ahead.
For sure.
Keeping that scoreboard pressure on your opponent. So QIS from Phil played again quite quickly. I would imagine there's some frustration at play at the moment. 44 for QIS is a pretty decent move. Tranks would also have scored 44.
Mm-hmm.
That's Tranks down from the T of City. And 2 players still making us work quite hard to keep up with what they're doing.
Very much so.
Hope for 34 looks a good play from A1 here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the top corner of the board. Scores does keep the 2 eyes though. I'd be probably trying to look for a way to play those 2 eyes. Ibex are the tiles I'd be looking at. I mean, that's placed for 23. Using the hook on the end of perv for PRVE. Pix comes down from Brian. Down the side of the board. Reasonable play. He's scoring heavily.
Yeah, it's just an onslaught at this point from Brian. Phil has drawn into
that
K.
Phil's rack he has Kenaf on his rack, but I don't know if there's a decent place to play that. Quackle is saying highest scoring move is 43 for Fank. And Phil has played Flank and Fank, yeah.
Canaf does play hooking the E onto Perv, but I prefer Phil's play here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a good play there. No bonus available for Brian.
Oh, what a lifeline for Phil. This is the miracle draw he needed to get back in this game. This is going to be very interesting, just looking ahead slightly.
So what has Brian done here? He's got, I can see 6 tiles. Is the 7th tile covered on his rack? I think he's counting, isn't he?
Yes, he's got a D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got no bonus. Phil has Yearners for 1.
Oh, amazing! Right, just as I said that the Y in redry gives absolutely nothing back. I retract my previous statement.
Yeah, so Yearners is a possibility for Phil. Is it possible? It's very difficult to block that spot without sacrificing a massive amount of score.
What, the Y?
So I don't see Brian really playing anything there.
No, I mean, how often are you really getting hit with a Y onto the triple anyway, you know? Yeah. Even with a blank out.
He's got most of Brian's scoring plays are reliant on hooking on Perv. With Pervo, which is perhaps not one of the more well-known hooks on the end of Perv. So he's got things like Biodot, Doobie, Booty down there. He's got Booted lined up on his rack. And I would think he'd be considering that Pervo spot.
Yeah.
I think we are just seeing.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yearners being lined up on Phil's rack.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, so Phil giving himself a fighting chance here. Let's see how long it takes him to plonk this down.
Booted is probably not the equity play. Doobie, Booty, and Biodot probably better. However, at this point, I mean, Brian's word knowledge is very, very good. I don't know whether he has perfect word knowledge, but at this point, when you've got that lead, you're going to buy into that catastrophic thinking again. Is Booty good? Is Doobie good? Is Biodot good? You're going to play something that you are sure of, because losing a turn is possibly the only way you can lose this game. So you're going to make a move you are certain of.
Absolutely. I see the. Oh, okay, yeah. I think they were just checking the scores. So we're back to Phil, and he's gone from really sub 5%, sub 3% winning chances to around 25% once he's played Yearners. So really exciting to see where this goes. Yeah, he's going to hit 83, which is going to take him about 20 points shy.
Brian's next rack, or there's a second blank.
Wow.
Come down on that is going to. He's not got a lot to go with it by the looks of things, but that is going to immediately increase the odds massively in Brian's favour.
Yeah, for sure.
So Phil is thinking about this. He's going to play Yearners. It's what he has to do, I think. Oh, he's transposed tiles.
Oh my God.
And at the moment,
no, it's year ends.
He's played year ends. He's not played Yearners. He's played year ends.
Oh.
I thought for a minute he transposed tiles. He's played year ends, which is the other.
Wow. Okay. My stomach actually drops there. And I was looking at Brian's body language, and I thought he'd missed it as well.
I mean, of course, we can't hear the declaration of the blank here, and year ends is a funny-looking word.
Yeah.
And my immediate thought was he made a mistake, but no.
Yeah. I'm just going to run a quick sim on. I want to see which one Quackle prefers.
We have recently seen some quite high, I'd say we've seen some quite high profile example tiles being transposed recently at the World Championships, where Nigel Richards got an H and an E the wrong way around in Shariat.
Yes, yeah.
So perhaps I'm a bit primed to see things like that at the moment.
Yeah. Just, Callum, one more point just before we move on. Year Ends is actually simming substantially better than Yerna's. I guess it's because of the placement of that E. It's harder to side lap hitting that double word.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, so nice, correct decision there from Phil.
Looks like Brian is considering just getting rid of the W and the I. Quackle likes Iwi for 29 from M1, which is... So yeah, making Sif at the top of the board in the right-hand corner.
Oh, yeah, Sif that's a really nice little bridging play. Hard to see.
Yeah. This looks like Brian's game to me.
Yeah, there's one in the bag.
Phil's rack is not conducive to winning this game.
No, indeed.
And looking at it from Brian's perspective, what could Phil possibly have? I'm not seeing anything.
Well, the J is on scene to Brian, and Phil has opened this J bomb.
Yeah, okay. That is, yeah. So Jow.
Yep.
But we know that the J is that tile in the bag. So Brian will be agonising here over blocking that A spot potentially.
Yeah, and in fact he can. Well, if he plays Aoi onto the E, it does leave the possibility of Raj coming down from the R in redry. So it's not a total block of that spot. And obviously Aoi scores nothing. But I should be absolutely transparent. It is Quackle's highest simming play for whatever reason. Aoi, of course, also setting up the B front hook, which we know Phil has.
Yeah, I'm not seeing why that's the strongest play either. No. Yeah, pondering on that.
Yeah. I'll keep the sim running. And just to note as well, Brian is now south of 2 minutes. The risk is drastically increasing of him cracking under pure time pressure. So Phil is absolutely not down and out yet. It's very much the chance that his opponent's going to make some kind of mistake here. Okay, Brian is placing something on the board. O line.
He's playing.
Or is it a T?
O line.
Yes.
It's going to win, presumably. It's an interesting one. I mean, there was no possibility of Phil bonusing there.
Yeah.
The only chance, if Brian's tile tracked correctly, there's no chance of Phil bonusing. If he was a tile out in his tile tracking, there might have been the possibility of something like jawbones. But presumably he's bang on, and he knows he's safe to take the last tile from the bag.
Producer Ruth, can you confirm whether that's a B or a T? Because we see that Phil is holding, so I'm assuming it's a B. Obviously, it's a very tense moment, so if you can't quite check, don't worry. I am going to assume that's a B. Oh, it's a T? Okay. Ruth has confirmed it's a T.
I mean, Phil is thinking at this point, I need him to phone for me to win.
Yes, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to hold on this move, whatever. You know, it's likely that he's fairly certain of that word. He's just making sure.
And it wasn't a candidate play on Quackle. I've put it in, and it's a 100% win. So excellent vision from Brian, and under time pressure as well. Very well done indeed. We see Brian's drawing. Not 100% sure whether that's a courtesy draw or...
I mean, Phil made some kind of a hand signal.
Okay.
But I don't know whether that was I'm accepting the play or you can draw. I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and add this to Quackle so the audience can see where the score will be if this stays on. So assuming this stays on and Phil does not challenge, that puts him 29 behind, and Phil now knows that Brian will be holding IJ. Just slightly too much of a deficit to make up. Agonising ending here for Phil. He's got all the time in the world, so you can see him calculating, doing the maths. But Brian has eked out an incredibly vital win right here at the top of the table.
Yeah, weaved is an option for Phil here. I mean, nothing wins. Weaved is scoring 38 down to the blank D of year ends. Yeah, Phil got back to a tale of two blanks, really. The first blank gave Phil that lifeline, but he was still only 25% chance to win from there, according to the Quackle sim, and the picking of that second blank by Brian really swung the odds in his favour.
Yeah, 100%. Update from producer Ruth. This play is actually still on hold. Brian has looked at the tile, so he knows he's holding the J. Therefore, he knows
by the looks of it.
It is a challenge. Okay, yeah. So it seems Phil has calculated his only way to win at this point is if toe line comes off. Absolutely reasonable. And there is the tick, +5. And that seals a vital win for Brian Poe of Hong Kong against the current British champion, is it? Oh no, that's Harshan, isn't it? But Phil, obviously a highly decorated player in his own right, making the smart move here. If the only way he can win is for this to come off, chuck a challenge at it.
Yeah.
So that puts him 34 behind. And he's going to go ahead and make his best play here of weaved.
Yep.
Tantalisingly close. In fact, Callum, this actually puts Phil 4 points ahead. And I haven't even really looked yet where Brian's going to play, but I assume he's going to go out somewhere.
Yeah, he has jib for 13. He's got 3 100% winning plays. He's got jib for 13. Or he has Agi and J for 10. I mean, if he wanted to manufacture a way to lose the game, he could take his highest scoring player, Jar, for 25. Although actually I haven't added the 5 points into my Quackle, so it possibly doesn't lose. But anyway, I'm sure he will take one of the winning plays. So he's played jib 13 at the top of the board by the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the handshake at the end of the game.
Yeah, Callum, I think it's safe to say, having watched every game so far on stream, this is the most exciting by far. Fantastic game. Very well done to both players, and thank you for providing us with that entertainment. So that is a final score. You're going to have to slightly disregard the score you see on stream, as that's doubling. The actual final score is Brian Poe 477, Phil Robertshaw 460, a winning margin of just 17 points in a fiercely fought battle right at the top of the table. And I'm just going to transition us over, folks, to the enhanced scoreboard. You see about half the results are now in. You see Brian and Phil right up there in the green. Harshan and Peter Andronowski were also playing on table 1. Their score is yet to come in, but it's really heating up at this point, Callum.
Yeah, I mean, that game, there were 2 highlights in that game for me. I think Segugio is just a superb opening play. It's strong word knowledge there from Brian on that one. It's a wonderful opening play, and the spot of recaution as well from Phil is the other big highlight of the game for me. Yeah, I think Bill did everything he could to try and stay in there. I'm still intrigued by the play of Flan. It'd be interesting to know what the rationale behind playing Flan was. Fix was a far more obvious play, and had Phil boned to that point, anything could have happened, I suppose.